All right, and we are live. All right.
Yay.
Wally, could you make sure we have all the megaphones, please?
Yes.
That was a spooky guess. That's great. All
That's
right,
spooky emote.
everybody. Welcome to the product meetup. As you guys know, we've had some really cool updates recently, and we're really excited that a lot of you have really enjoyed them. As always, remember, if you have any feedback or questions, please be sure to type them so we can have them recorded. So if there's anyone that's not here, we can make sure to address those afterwards, and so we have a little bit of a record. And with that being said, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. You want to introduce yourself, Wally?
Yeah, I am Wally, your friendly neighborhood customer support representative, here to ban trolls and answer tickets and make sure everybody is having a great time.
Oh no, I'm in danger if you're banning trolls. What's up? No, Daisy, would you like to go?
Hi, I'm Daisy. You'll already know me as Daisy Winthorpe, and I do things like marketing, support, and help studios.
Cool. I'm Lacey, community manager, and doer of many things. Bowden, do you want to go next? Kind of behind all of us.
Sure, yeah. Hi, everyone. Bowden, product manager.
All right, Sean?
Right to the point, Bowden. I'm Sean. I'm on the engineering team.
Very nice.
and the arcade machine, Alex?
Yeah, I'm Alex. I'm also on the product team, working on a lot of the interactive stuff you see in the client.
Fantastic. All right, that's us. So we have some really cool events coming up. We've got 2 new ones that are listed now, Gerbo Echo in Coven and also Gala de la Lune. So be sure to go and check events.sansar.com to see what's the next event going to happen. There's a lot of really cool community events as well.
Yalla.
Yes. We have several concerts going on this week with the community. Check the events calendar. A lot of really cool stuff. As you guys know, we introduced a bit of a spooky backpack item to celebrate the season of spookiness. And I hope you guys really, yes, that one. I hope you really enjoy. And with that being said, actually, we have one other thing. The Halloween store collection is going to be the last day to submit your entries or suggestions. It's going to be tomorrow. So be sure if you want to submit one of your items or another creator's items that you think is really cool and Halloween-y, please make sure to have that submitted by tomorrow. That being said, we've had a lot of really cool updates in the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to hand it over to the engineering team.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so we pushed out some Edit World stuff. So we've put out the pivot adjustment. We've put out the stats panel. Hopefully those are working out in Edit World.
Love it.
Yeah, nice. We've also we did some work on the trackers, and I haven't heard anything back, Lacey, yet. Hopefully those are working out for people that were having problems before. If not, please contact us, and we'd like to hear from you. Those are the live trackers. We also put out. Good. We also put out this last update. We fixed some bugs. Just trying to fix bugs throughout. We also pushed out the new filming mode, which is going to get some updates here shortly. Like Alex and I are still working on it. So we're happy for any feedback there. And that one's kind of funny because it became out of just like Alex saying, let's smooth the camera in F4. And then now it's like, oh, let's drop the UI. Let's make it mouse look. Let's make it so you can do this and that and that. So there's some more coming on that too, just trying to get it, make it perform a little better. Some fixes there, some feedback from studios, some bug fixes, things like that. So otherwise, we have some more stuff coming up. So we're still working on Edit World. We're still trying to improve iteration, make it easier to do stuff. So what's coming up there is we're working on trying to improve the iteration time for just doing a build and going into the world. And so the primary one we're focusing on right now is making it so that If you use global illumination, common problem is that it takes forever to build sometimes, especially it takes forever to build. So we're trying to make it so that global illumination doesn't build if it doesn't need to try and skip that step. So change a script.
You went in, exactly.
Yeah, change a script, change something like that. And then you go and you're like, oh, I left global illumination on. It takes forever to build. You have to cancel, turn it off, go back, test it. So that's one thing we're working on. Hopefully that'll also set us up to do smarter rebuilds, because we need to kind of track where things are, when things are actually dirty. So trying to improve iteration time in Edit World. The things we're working on are Reactions v2, which I talked about before. So exposing it, making it easier for users to use it, having that new script type that lets you set a thumbnail, adding thumbnails to Edit World, making it so that you can make your own reactions. Your own stuff here. Yeah,
that's kind of the long and short of it right there.
We're also working on UI polish. So we're doing some more work on UI. We just got some new work from web to expose the featured lists in a way that the client can read. So we're going to be adding those hopefully to the store and then cleaning up some of the store interactions. I know that the store can be in the client, like fixing it so that if you go back, it saves your search results, or if you go down the tree of, clicking on things from inside the details pages, other things created from that user, you can go back to the last one and back, keeps the stack kind of more like a web browser. You can go back. So trying to improve the store, make it so that the featured items come up in the front so that your guys' work is really showcased. Like, this stuff is awesome. There's been a lot of great stuff in the store for Halloween. I'm really impressed, and it's so cool. I love this outfit. I love all the stuff in the store. And so trying to make that so it's front and center to try and increase sales when we have big events. Work has been slow on I know everyone's going to ask about the dynamic sit points. Work's been slow on the dynamic sit points. We're still working on them. We're trying to get them out. I'd like to get those out. What else is there, Alex? Is there anything else?
The other thing, we got a sign being held up in the front row that I want to address again.
Where is it? Volume controls?
Volume controls. There's a couple of them. Zero's got one as well. But on that front...
there it is.
We're actually working on some designs right now to combine people and chat tools in a seamless way, which includes the ability to adjust volume on individual users. So you may be seeing some teasers of that design in the next couple of weeks here. I'd love to throw those in Discord once we got something more tangible for you to look at. Yeah,
some of the cool stuff there, like having volume indicators, or not volume indicators, like speaking indicators in the chat panel, things like that, so you can see who's talking. There's a bunch of cool stuff in there, and trying to combine those so you can see who's in the scene more easily. Maybe you have a count of who's in the scene, that kind of stuff.
Stretch is also working on a more game-like settings escape menu. So, like right now, if you press escape, you go into mouse look, but we're changing that up so that it'll bring up like a menu to show you: do you want to log out? Do you want to exit? Do you want to see your settings? So on and so forth. Just a little bit more.
A little tiny bit of refresh work there, and just trying to bring it in line so that new users aren't confused. You hit escape and you expect something, and it's not what you expect. So, trying to bring that in line. And we did hire a new engineer on our side, so he's ramping up, and he's going to be helping out on the client. So that's really great. There's a lot of stuff to do. One thing that we're probably going to look at here is, we did some work to increase the script performance, and we're probably going to do a bunch more work on that. It can still, with the reactions work and some other stuff, script performance is always, we want to make it so that scenes are more interactive and more responsive, and you don't get bogged down. You don't spawn 1,000 reactions and then have them stop working for a second and then catch up. So we're going to be doing some more work on script performance here, I think, and just performance in general. We want to get more people in the scene. We did a pylon internally to kind of get performance captures from everybody across a bunch of different hardware. So I'm going over that, and we're trying to improve performance. So there's a lot of irons in the fire. I know it's been a little slow on the feature front, but we're getting them out. We're working. We're bringing more people in, and you're gonna see a lot more stuff going forward. So it's really great.
Incredibly exciting, and thank you so much. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if Bowden had anything you wanted to add.
Nope, nothing too exciting. Maybe a couple little small changes here or there.
We stole it.
Yeah, the new camera's just too cool. Anyway,
I mean, the camera's good.
Also, love the new features.
There's continued work on the mobile app, I think. So that's
Yes, yeah, sure, I guess I could give a quick update. We're making good progress on the mobile app. We're also making pretty good progress on another way to view Sansar, so not the client, not the mobile app. That should be done pretty soon. We're taking a fresh look at the event pages themselves. So for those of you who are event hosts, expect a new event web landing page. And that will actually be a pretty good improvement. Hopefully we can get dark mode in there. We shall see. But yeah, those are all the teasers I can give for now.
Really cool stuff. Any other things from product?
Nothing major. I think we could jump into questions unless you guys had anything on your side.
Did you? There were questions from last time, and I wrote up responses in the Notion doc.
Do you want to answer
those
those
out? Or, well, I mean, I'm in VR, so I don't know. We can go over those, or we should probably just take the live questions, and then at the end, we can go over those. We have a limited time frame, so I'd like to get the latest, most pressing questions, and then we can follow up at the end with the questions from last time. I don't want us to build up a backlog. I don't have a hard stop this time at 10 like I did last week, so I can just kind of keep answering questions, I think, as long as people have them. So
awesome. Okay, so we have a couple of
fresh ones today.
Yeah. So we have a bit of feedback first. So F10 Filming Mode is close to Space Navigator, except you have to use two hands and there's no pressure sensitivity. This is from Silas, by the way. Two issues I found with the implementation so far. Alt-tab to another application, then make Sansar client active again. You are now in regular free cam mode. And the other one is when the center of the screen passes over a grabbable item, the circle icon appears. It properly ignores sit points. Not sure about the other clickable actions.
Okay. Yeah, another one I noticed is that if you're too close to an avatar and you look at them, you'll see the name tag on the avatar while you're in filming mode. So there's a couple of those UI pop-ups that we're still going to roll out.
Yeah, I actually forgot to fix that one last night. I know that was one. So yeah, the avatar one, and then it sounds like the reticule for the mouse look comes up if you go over an interactive object. Was that the second part of that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's get that written up. I want to just try and get all these ones knocked out today. Space Navigator one, that's the 3D mouse one? Is that what that is?
I've got one of those. We obviously didn't design the feature directly with the intent of building that. Like we said, we're going to smooth the camera initially, and then we kind of added some more nice to have features on top of that. So we can look into making Space Navigator functional with it. At the moment, the Xbox controller is fully functional with the camera. And I think I can just segue into the other question there, which is what is the difference? A lot of
people excited that have that.
Which part?
Yes. Space Navigator.
Oh yeah, I mean maybe we'll see. I've got one right here on my desk, and I would love to be able to use it too because they're pretty handy tools. Just one hand to do 3 degrees of freedom. Where was I going? I totally lost my train of thought.
Grabbable item.
There was. Can you reread the question, and then we can that might spur the rest of the conversation.
It was just Alt-tab to another application.
The camera smoothing differences. That's what I was on about. So F4 would take you into free cam mode. I guess the difference between free cam and this new filming mode is the filming mode will smooth all the movement, both with WASD, with your mouse, with the gamepad controller, so that you don't get these really jagged, jarring movements as you're moving the camera around. You can get these nice, smooth panning shots instead. We've also moved some of the controls around on the gamepad and the mouse and keyboard so that it's easier to adjust your speed of the camera and move up and down without having to take your hand off the keyboard or the mouse or the gamepad while doing so.
So if you have an Xbox gamepad, the triggers are going to move you up and down. This is coming out soon. The triggers move you up and down, and will move you up and down in filming mode, and the shoulder buttons will increase and decrease speed in filming mode or just flight cam mode. Those two things are both true for flight cam mode too. But with the So
That answers Zelha's question about the difference, so that's good. The next bits of feedback from Henry G. Script performance. Cool, definitely need that. Awesome. The next one is from Robin. If no individual volume controls, red-ins would be good. So these are just both 2 bits of feedback, and then we can pop on into
what was the word there? Red-ins?
Red-ins? Like,
I don't know what that is.
Where the green ends up above your, somebody else suggested it, but where the green ends turn red if your mic's too loud, so that they would see that as a visual warning to
Oh,
turn
I
their
see,
own
I
mic down.
Okay, so like 3 green lines, it starts getting a little bit more obvious that it's an
like
issue
3
towards the
red
end.
lines after it switches, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
yeah.
I mean, if we can artists that it's possible. Yeah.
Bowden, you have red-ins right now? No.
Yeah, I mean, we can put a 4th one on, basically just turn the 3 red and have it. Yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, so into the questions. This one's from Zero Cheese. When a VR user's camera is placed in a scripted camera, it seems to go in the third person and pivots around the specified XYZ coordinates rather than being centered with it, which I would assume would be concentered first person as far as the server is concerned, even though the avatar is somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, what I expect probably from the scripted camera for VR is that your head, it's a tricky problem. Your head, we should just catch up on this. I think you and the engineers working on that, JRC, should just kind of chat through these cases, because you and him, because I don't know exactly how we've done the math there. But we should just get you guys together and have him talk directly to you about what you think the needs are for third-person VR camera. We did put out a fix to try and make it so that it would look through the camera. I hope that's working. And we did put out a fix for the VR dialogues appearing. No matter which way you're facing, they would appear in front of you instead of to your side. So we did put out those 2 fixes, but it sounds like that the script camera fix is not 100% what you're expecting. So we should just have, we should just kind of get a more detailed, maybe have you chat with him. Let's follow up with that, Alex, and get JRC and Zero linked up and just have them chat about what the expected thing is there. Because it's there's not a ton of people using that feature right now, which is I'm glad you're using it, because we got to exercise it and it's great. We just got to make sure that it's working properly. So
Awesome. Cool. All right. The next question is also from Zero. Is there any way to allow us to scale hair in the avatar editor?
So this comes back to just rigged stuff in general. Like, we haven't really done that kind of stuff with rigged clothing. I mean, hair and rigged clothing are pretty much the same. The reason is that, like, you end up getting weirdness with the skinning. So, I mean, we could look into something like that, but I think that it's probably not going to come soon.
Larger head than the average head by just a few inches, and the hair ends up inside the skull.
Yeah. It's tricky. Scaling rig stuff is tricky. I mean, we could do kind of auto calculating again on the rigging. But it's tough. Like, if you had a shirt on and it came near the elbow and then you scale, now it's going to be all kinds of weird when the elbow animates. So it's the same. The head isn't as bad, but like, if you scaled up and you had something that was like rigged to the forehead and then it was like moving, and it's going to be weird parts of the hair moving. So it's the scaling for scaling and translating and manipulating rigged clothing is difficult. I don't think we're going to get that anytime soon, to tell you the truth. But it's good to know that that's a desired use case. So.
All right. Next one is also from Zero. Just to remind you guys, we really, really would benefit in more than one way from having custom backpack items. The majority of users have been really looking forward to this feature.
Yep. Sherry was actually telling us we should get onto the backpack again. I don't know where that's going to fit in the roadmap, but we need to do a refresh on the backpack. It's cool. Having this kind of stuff is great, but I think you guys would just do so much stuff we didn't even think of with it. So
a lot.
Custom stuff per
For the good and the bad.
Well, not for the bad. It's just really interesting. Yeah.
Interesting, yes. That's a better way of putting it. All right, the next one is also follow-up from Zero. I think we already kind of covered this. When I do a search in the store and then click an item, then I go back, I still have to redo the search all over again. All right.
Yeah,
Stretch covered that already. We're
I think
working.
to cover that. We're gonna do another pass in the store. We did that one pass back in June, but we're just gonna do another pass and try and really make it shine it up. So
Awesome. The next one is from Henry. Can we get a system that lets us try on store items before we buy?
Try before you buy. Yeah, that's been asked forever.
yeah.
There's been a couple like security concerns with that, if I'm not mistaken, with like pulling down assets to people's
it
computers.
is a security concern, but I think probably the need outweighs the concern. But that would be cool. It would be great.
It's not immediately on the roadmap right now.
Roadmap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe
All
a
right.
refund system.
What kind of item system?
Refund,
A
he said.
refund system. Like I've bought them that are completely broken, and
Yes. Yeah.
now I'm stuck.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, if there's something that's completely broken, please feel free to report it to our support so we can take a look and to see if there's something that we can contact the creator about.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next question from Henry G. Any chance to scripts to be capable of detecting collision among two non-dynamic objects? This could really help us make amazing games.
So non-dynamic objects, so it's like two static objects generally doesn't make any sense, right? Because they're static. So they're always going to be that way. Keyframed versus, using keyframed versus static is usually it can be really taxing, especially because you can have keyframe objects right now that are meshes, I'm pretty sure. So that causes us all kinds of problems. Like even right now, we have a problem where if you grab a keyframe object, it's causing a server crash. There's a known server crash with keyframe objects that are meshes. If you grab them, you can cause problems. I really need to fix that bug because you can get a server crash there. You can use trigger volumes. Trigger volumes should be keyframed, and they should also collide against the environment. So if you need detection, trigger volumes have two modes on them. One is avatars and dynamic objects only, and one is everything for the collision. So if you look in the trigger volume, you only get a box right now, but maybe you can switch to a sphere too. But you can set to everything, which would allow you to collide with the environment. The point of that is to be able to put it on the front of a car or something and use that to detect if you're going to hit something and turn ahead of time, that kind of stuff. So that should be possible, but it's static versus static or keyframe versus static ends up being a big performance sink most of the time. So it's a trickier problem. But if you have any particular use cases, send me a message or send these guys a message, or send me a message, send somebody a message, and we can go over maybe the best way. I've done a lot with physics, so if there's something you're trying to do, then there might be a different way to do it. So
awesome. Robin asked, can we have an ability to access chat while a world is building?
Not losing your active emote when you start the time search. All right. Ability to access chat while the world is building. Oh, right now it pops up. It does the overlay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now it does the overlay.
So is it a full screen overlay that just prevents?
It's the full screen. Oh, it's like the modal overlay, and I think the reason is you don't want to be able to touch other stuff. Maybe chat could sit on top of that, but I understand the reasoning for it. But I'd have to look into it. Maybe.
Hopefully the build optimizations. Hopefully the build optimizations we're working on will reduce the need for you to be chatting while you're building, because ideally you're not building a ton of GI.
But at the same time, I think having
better.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to try and improve build times, but at the same time, I don't know if chat could kind of always sit on top of that stuff potentially, because it's pretty
Just
safe all the
separate.
time. So yeah, chat could potentially just sit on top of all the modal blockouts. So that's another potential. I do have a second question. Not losing your active emote when you start to type a search in the emote list. That should be fixable. Yeah, it must be that that's probably just a bug actually. Let's get that written up. Can you have Steel test that?
Mhm.
Yeah, let's get that written up because that's probably just a bug. It shouldn't do that.
All right. Next question is from Henry G. Why is the blue color on lights so dark? I'm not quite sure. Could you elaborate, Henry?
Like if you just go to like
yeah.
you just go to like blue, like if you just slide to blue, it's like dark blue. I'm not
We
sure.
can follow up with that one. It's, it could be a specific one. All right, the next one is from Anu Amon. What direction is Sansar taking in regards to retention? Since adult content is out of the question and since you are hiring more engineers, does that mean that more interactivity is coming? PvP, PvE, custom UI, etc.?
Well, a lot of our focus in the near and longer term future is around events and these big festivals and concerts and sorts of things that we've been hosting recently. So a lot of the feature sets and tools that we're going to be building out are going to be in the realm of supporting those and making those easier to join, find, and enjoy. More details specifically about what those feature sets are going to include will obviously be exposed as we...
Is my mic really bad? I can change it.
What?
Is my mic terrible? I can change it.
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh yeah. You sound awful. You sound like you're in fishbowl or something.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean interactivity. So much we want to do there. Like Alex said, we are focused on concerts, but it's kind of where those two things meet that we can try and get more to the community. Yeah, I mean on the immediate roadmap. There's a lot of polish, there's a lot of stability, there's a lot of performance stuff, and it's a little light on interaction stuff in the immediate future. But in-world UI is something that's really great, and I think that one probably will bubble up more soon because you can do a lot of cool stuff in concerts too, like this person tipped, show how much they tipped, have a billboard that says what people are doing, or have chat highlighted things, stuff like that really can kind of add interactivity to the concerts. So I'd really like to get a lot of interactive stuff in. It'd be really great.
Awesome. All right, the next question we have is from Joe Williams. If the user can see that they are loud, they would change themselves a red in to actually, that was mentioned by Robin earlier, so cool.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Very much so.
By them, and I disagreed with them.
Oh, cool. Cool.
I don't want to take credit for her idea.
Awesome.
That's great.
All right. Henry G. Sansar client on Mac? Any chance? LOL.
Bowden, do you got a new mic yet?
No, I'm searching for it. Long and short, not native, but being able to participate in Sansar while on a Mac is something that should be coming soon.
Awesome. All right. MedHugh asks, with more and more people making games, things have become so much more fun in World, which is great. That being said, if we go get more people in Sansar, all these games will break because of the amount of people. Can we get more accessibility to changing our game world limits to ensure people can play our games?
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. We've answered this a bunch of times. It's going to come down to some sort of premium feature set that you'll probably end up paying for it to be able to reduce the number of people in your scene and like tailor how many people you want in your scenes. But we're not crossing that bridge immediately.
Can we talk to you guys individually to get them lowered?
Possibly, yeah. That could be easier done than a whole feature set for sure.
Yeah, let's talk to Alex, talk to Lacey, and let's see what we can do. There's like a monetary point with like number of people versus the server costs and all that stuff. So, but
gotta keep it balanced.
It would be great. I think that, especially if I want to go the other way, which is like scenes that can support tons of people. If it's a really simple scene, you have something really cool coming up and you want to get 100 people in, that would be awesome. Let's try to get 100 people in. Going down the other side, it's good too.
I think a lot of people would pay to have it lowered so that their games work all the time.
Awesome.
I would definitely.
All right, well,
I could imagine
look,
for the near future we could look.
People say they're going to pay you money. You should.
Yeah, no, totally. What I'm saying is, in the immediate future, we could look into something more like a grandfather thing. So if you've got a specific game that's just breaking because 10 people are showing up instead of 8, then yeah, we can address it. We can address that on more one-by-one, maybe.
Let's have that conversation. Yeah.
All right, this one's from Terje. Bowden, can you elaborate a little about main product focus for the upcoming months?
Yeah, sorry, my mic is going to be terrible, but I'll make it quick. So my main focus is primarily on our distribution channels. So where and how people are accessing Sansar. We have where we are at now inside the client. Then we have mobile, and we're going to have a new distribution channel coming soon. So a lot of my focus is there. And then kind of looking at, similar to what Alex mentioned earlier, the feature sets that these large partners are going to need to pull off some pretty cool shows.
Awesome, thank you, Bowden.
Yeah, and then on the client side, I think we've talked about that. It's like we have a few different tracks going. It's like stability, performance, polish, edit world, iteration time, that kind of stuff. Reactions v2, and then making the shows more awesome, making them more stable. Things to do that. It's not clear 100% what we're going to be doing, and there's a lot of flexibility, like the filming mode. That just kind of came up from a need, and we just kind of prioritized it. And so it's hard to, we're kind of trying to be really flexible and fluid. So, but there's a lot of good stuff coming. So,
fantastic. This next one's from Zero. When using scripted camera, if in the escape cam mode, and you entered a scripted camera without a timer to exit, such as a button to deactivate the scripted camera, the only way out is to force close the client and relog into Sansar. FYI.
Using a scripted camera. Let's get that written down. Let's get that tested by Steele. I'm not going to be able to answer that off the top of my head, but when a scripted camera, it's complicated. But yeah, let's get that tested.
Sounds like a bug.
It sounds like a bug. It's
awesome.
Bug. Anytime you have to close the client to get out, then yeah, that's a bug. So
we are technically over time, but we have 5 questions left for this week, and so
let's go over those.
Let's go ahead and get them. All right.
I can stay too, and we can address the ones from last week as well.
Last week too. Yes.
I'm going to bounce to another meeting. I will see you guys. Okay. I'll have a better mic next time. Sorry about that.
All right. See you, Bowden.
See ya.
Later. All right, this one's from Anu Amon. Can someone update the animated FBX information on your website so people can know that you cannot scale bones, non-avatar FBX, and only move and rotate?
It's annoying. It's super annoying. I just want to fix it. I mean, let's put something on the website for right now, but we should just make that work. I mean, technically, so there's the animation system under the hood does support scaling the bones, but the renderer, when we transfer from the animation system to rendering, it's not picking that scale up. Certainly for in-world stuff, I want that to happen. I even want it to happen for avatar stuff. I mean, we have to be careful for griefing wise for avatars, because you could make yourself, you could scale the root bone of the avatar, and because scaling the root bone is essentially just scaling the avatar. So you could grief people by having emotes that do all kinds of crazy stuff, but we can test for that. We can make sure that you can't import stuff with scale that messes stuff up too much. But you could scale your hand up, which would be super cool. So we need to fix that boundary between the animation system and the renderer, and it should be possible. So I'd just like to fix that instead of, we should put something on the website for now, but it's something that we should try and fix. So that'd be really cool.
All right, next question is from Angel Firelight. Will the app give users the ability to check and reply to their DM messenger?
Bowden left. I don't know. We do have some chat coming to the...
There's going to be mobile chat. I'm not sure off the top of my head if that included DMs or if it was more just focused on instance chat. I can't remember off the top of my head.
We have to follow up with Bowden. I mean, that's all on that team, the web team.
There is chat, though.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, the next question. Sorry if it's already answered / questioned. Are your expectations Sansar will, in the future, also run on mobile headsets? For example, the Oculus Quest 2 with its highest memory option, without the need to connect it to desktop PC?
Not anytime soon, unless Dredge has some amazing tech developments.
No, I mean, the big problem is the Quest. I haven't looked at the Quest 2 spec, but the Quest itself runs Android basically, and so you need to have the rendering support for that. We run on DirectX, so it's a problem. Like the only thing we support is with the Quest is with tethering. I think some people tried to do like remote desktop kind of stuff too, and that seemed to work okay, but it feels like that's not going to be that great for because of latency issues. But the tether works. But we would like to get on Quest 2. There's a conversation constantly about it, but we need to hire in more engineers to do it. To tell you the truth, like it's a different platform. It's like in terms of not just when I say different platform, like lots of stuff are different platforms, but it's completely different kind of support we need because, like I said, it's Android based. So we'll see, but probably not in the near future.
All right, next question is from Felix. Is an LOD system in the planning? Will developers get the opportunity to make 3 versions, low poly, mid poly, high poly, and set the distance the person is watching it? I'm hoping it will not be an automatic decimate system because it depends on a lot what the object is. For example, if the object's a flower, in far distance doesn't need to be able to see from a far distance. Well, for example, a drum kit should not become a cube from a sudden distance.
Yeah, I mean, LOD is tricky. Drum kit shouldn't become a cube.
Oh, drum kit. Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's tricky. Like we do LOD for avatars, and I think it works okay. I know there's lots of problems with it, but it's not something that's on our immediate roadmap. To tell you the truth, a lot of it is because our current, our current use case around performances would benefit from LOD, but at the same time, they're usually pretty constrained, so you don't get the big wins you get from LOD. But it would be good. I don't know about having there's probably going to be some version. It's definitely going to be by default automated, to tell you the truth, because when we do get to it, because it just makes the amount of work people have to do so much easier. Maybe there'll be a manual override for objects, but by default, it would probably be automated. Especially, we just going back to the Quest question, what would happen there for, to get scenes to run on the Quest, it would almost certainly be the case that you'd have to auto-decimate the scenes. Maybe not so much for Quest 2, but just because of the performance specs, a lot of the scenes that we currently have will not be performant on those platforms. They're kind of like phone platforms, and so the amount of polygons you can push through the graphics pipeline is just is pretty low, and so you'd have to auto decimate. You'd have to do automatic LOD to a lower level of detail for those scenes if you wanted them to run on those other platforms. And so that work is a little tied together, where we could just port everything to Android, but then you probably couldn't even use Sansar anyway, just because of without a level of detail changes, because stuff wouldn't be performant enough. So those things are a little tied together, but like I said, it's probably not on our immediate roadmap. So
yeah, sometimes there's some objects that would be the entire scene, like a pair of pants in some scenes.
So it's tricky.
Yes. All right. So we have the old questions from last week. From Majeka, can we have a dance/emote randomizer function in the emote panel?
I thought about it a lot after I read that last week, and I would like to add just a little maybe like a little dice button next to the search, so it maybe doesn't just randomize. You can click the dice and it'll pick a random one. I think that's pretty fun. It's really easy to do. We could do a randomized mode where you click that and then it kind of continues to randomize. Maybe, I don't know. It's a good idea. I think having that little thing I'm feeling lucky would be kind of a fun feature. So it's easy to add too. So maybe I'll throw it in there.
Could it be a folder you add to? You could add a random folder and you just
that'd be cool. Yeah. And then you click that random folder and it kind of does that. Right. We are getting more backend resources. So the thing that backend is working on is more ticketing related. So they're going to be doing some more ticketing work. But hopefully coming up there'll be some room. Folders comes up every time we talk to them about it. So yeah. It's a good idea.
Yes, trust us, we want folders too. It would be great. I have way too many looks. All right, so the next one, accessories for both wrist. Why do we only allow right?
Yeah. And I kind of wrote these responses too, but we could read my
Yeah.
responses. But
Yeah, I was
I could just go off the top of my head again, which is
Yeah, go for it.
the accessory system is actually interesting because it's the oldest character customization system. And when we did it initially, we didn't have things like being able to move the accessories and stuff like that. I actually kind of want to get rid of having classification is nice because you kind of know where it's going to go by default. But really, the accessory is just tell us a bone that you want to attach it to and tell us the relative position of that accessory to that bone. And that's why the transform system works pretty well. Like you can transform stuff around and it works really well because that's just changing the offset from the bone. And so we get the initial bone, which, for the ears is like the head or something. And then you can transform off of that. But there's really nothing stopping us from saying, okay, parent to that bone instead and move with that bone. And so I kind of want to go that direction and then have maybe just more of just having the accessories be classified or tagged to go into different categories. So
Can we
I don't necessarily want to add more categories, but
I was just going to say, I'm spitballing here. Can we generalize the categories to more like limb specific? So if you attach it to any bone with a
potentially
specific
like left
limb, you just
arm,
say
whatever.
Left arm, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and then, it's whether like you want creators to be able to specify that only, or you want users to be able to specify that. But yeah, that's kind of the way I'd like to go with the accessories, is just have it be a thing attached to a thing. And I'd like animated accessories, and there's so many cool ideas. But I'm not sure when we're going to get a chance to change that. So
just need more time.
That's kind of what I said in my written response, I think, as well.
Yeah. I like your spirit.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Next one is folders and organization for email/lookbook/edit world.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
On that. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Option to only allow world creator to create portal.
Okay. I mean, this is totally possible. Is there a people have a? I'm facing the wrong way. In meat space. I was wondering why everything was like moving around funny, and it's like my hands keep getting untracked. I ended up 90 degrees in my room. Yeah, I mean, is it just because people are dropping portals, it ruins the experience, that kind of thing? That's totally possible for us to make it so that's a world option to say only, kind of like how we do with the backpack, where you can say like what kind of things you want for the backpack. The portal manager is very similar, and we could do that. Needs to like affect the UI, makes you can't drop portals, but that's possible. Yeah, totally possible. If there's compelling, we can totally do it. You can talk to product about how you want to when we can prioritize that. But
for events, people purposefully or accidentally drop portals in the middle of an event.
Okay.
Yeah, I can even see some sort of like time window blockage. So like during your event, portals
Do it
are
from
allowed to drop,
script.
but after the fact, you can drop portals. So it's like once it's over, people can use portals to leave.
Yeah, I mean, it's
during
totally
the thing,
possible
you
to do
can't
it from
poach
script
users.
control too. I mean, we can do the same thing with the backpack, where you can. We should do that too.
Yep.
Well, we should also do it just in having a scripting API for it too, so you can be like, okay, backpack's on, backpack's off, backpack's clear.
Portals
that
on,
kind of
portals
stuff.
off. Yep.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Good idea.
All right. Another one is, can we have a key shortcut for the excellent top-level photo snapshot function in the left side icon menu, and a photo buffer for when things heat up in Zero's racetrack, so I can save later to disk when there's time for it?
Yeah, I've been talking about this internally for a little bit, actually. I want to update that whole tool so that, it's not taking you out of real time, because right now you get a snapshot of whenever you click the button, and then you either have to hope that that was a great picture or try again. And you probably lost whatever shot you were looking for at that point.
Yeah.
So I want a more real-time camera that you can just take a shot and it adds it to some album that's just held on to until you review it and decide what to upload or share online. If anyone's familiar with Steam, kind of more like what they do, where you can just take a picture while you're playing. You can take a dozen pictures in 1 second while you're playing. And then when you close up your session, it's like, hey, here's all the pictures you've taken. Which ones do you want to upload? Do you want to tag them? Do you want to put captions on them? Do you want to share them with your friends? So on and so forth.
And this is actually probably coming up sooner than later, kind of redoing the screenshot tool and doing these kind of work, along with like social sharing stuff, so that, if you're in a cool marble race, you're in a cool, monkey ball experience, and you're like taking screenshots, you want to share those to social media, that is probably going to come up. And especially for concerts and stuff, performances, you just like taking screenshots and you just want to be like, take a screenshot. When people say camera pictures nowadays, because there's no film, you can just take 50 pictures and then pick the best one, which is what people do. And so we're going to that's probably going to be sooner than later. It's probably going to be this year to fix that, I would say, most likely. So it's great.
Yes, great stuff. Lots of good photos being made. Next one is, can we have a feature in Lookbook to make our own iris textures and sale in store eye attachment / replacement pop out for some reason when people zoom in and out?
That's actually the LOD
very
system.
Halloween-y.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's actually the LOD since like Beetlejuice or something. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before where it's skin replacement, eye replacement, all the same. We want to do it. Just, internally, when we try and do likenesses and stuff, we have to do this like manual process. So we definitely want to do skin and eye replacement with just textures and put those in the store. Makes you can sell textures.
Also just makes our job of updating the ones we have.
No, that may come up sooner than later, just because if we do, just to make our lives easier when doing these likenesses that we do, like we did for some Chris Tofu, some other people that we have these likenesses for. We should do that. So it might come sooner than later.
Awesome. That's great to
I see
hear.
that we need to add a cooldown to the chair. Just all these people just teleporting around.
That's awesome. I thought that was an emote for a second, but yeah, it's
a musical chair.
They're just, and sometimes like he'll actually stand up and sit down and just get trapped in the animation. It's great.
It's fun. All right. Anything else? Is there anything else?
One more. Can we have input boxes for precise position / rotation editing of all component types?
Yeah, I talked about this one last time. Calisi's the guy to look into that. He's doing some of the more heavy lifting around build optimizations right now, but I want to get him looking into all the different fields there. And I asked last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess it is now, for you guys to just ping like Lacey or me in Discord with any of the panels that you see that are just missing those property types, because that'll help us
we should
narrow it down.
Yeah, it should be there. Yeah, because if you can use the widget, then you should be able to enter.
And there is a position and a rotation, so
there is a position, and all components have position and rotation.
Exactly.
So we should really expose
be able to expose
I think the problem. I think maybe it was exposed at some point. They took it away just because I think it was confusing about which one was which or something. But we should put it back.
Yeah.
This is to make it clear about which transform you're editing. If you're on the top level transform or this level transform, that kind of thing. So, but it's fine. Cool. And then Robin has some here about making the emote panel stretchable. Yeah, we should fix that. If it's not already, then I should make it so it's resizable, at least to some degree. So yeah, we should do that. And if it has that thing there, that means it is resizable. It's just that we set the limits to.
Yeah, it's resizable in the vertical, but not the horizontal.
Yeah,
make it taller. You just can't make it wider.
So we should look into that. It should be possible to do. So, yeah. I don't know how much wider you want it, but just for to see the text.
Full transparency, I think we were just afraid in the past of people grabbing edges of windows and making them huge and then not resetting them, and then you get all these massive windows. So that's
their problem.
Commentary on our but it's also commentary on our UI, letting them do that.
So
thank you for all you guys do, man. You guys are a great team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're trying.
We try. Yes.
Was there anything else?
That's it. I think that's
all
it.
the questions we got.
Really great.
A little over. Thanks everyone for being here. Love doing
Thank you so much, everyone.
Let us know where you want him to give feedback regarding the hip trackers. So it's again, let's link up Loki and JRC, Alex. Let's try and link up Loki. There's a question here saying where can Loki give feedback about the hip trackers. So let's get Zero and JRC and Loki and JRC. Let's get them talking. So maybe we can set that up through Discord or something. Or Lacey, can you facilitate that?
Regarding that.
Yeah, that'd be great. We want to improve it. So maybe Lacey or Alex, you guys can facilitate that. Let's try and get JRC and them together. So.
And it was Zero and who else? Sorry.
Loki.
Loki Elliott.
Loki Elliott.
Yeah, he's the prominent full body tracker user. So hopefully we made some improvements. But if there's still stuff we can improve, then we should talk to him. So let's do it. Set those up. If you guys can you deal with that, Alex?
Yeah.
Right,
I'm pinging the two of them right now.
Great. Awesome. All right. Great. Thanks, everyone. Happy Halloween.
All right.
We'll see you before the Halloween, but
we will. Happy Halloween, and thank you guys for coming on out.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you guys.
We're done with Twitch. All right.
This is probably better for me.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Wait. I think you're the right height to actually
Huh?
Oh my gosh.
utilize
Yes.
the game that I am.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Where was I?
Mortal Wombat. Nice.
This feels
Stop pressing my
not right.
buttons, Stretch.